Good morning, and thank you for joining us today for our Thought Leadership Table. We've got a great group of experts today, and I'm very excited to kick things off. So, if I could ask each of you to please just give your name, the company you work with, and just a quick little fact about you that maybe a lot of people don't know. So, John, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Okay, thank you. My name is John Wolf. I'm the CMO of Intradiem. Quick fact about myself: when I'm not chasing my kids around, I enjoy sailing and windsurfing.
Joe Alwyn, I'm the Vice President and General Manager of the Evoke Analytics Division at Raytheon. And quick fact about me, I spent a lot of my non-work time volunteering for our YMCA. It's a great organization, and it's really phenomenal to do that kind of thing and give back a little bit.
Good morning, I'm Bryn Palmer. I'm with Varen. I'm a principal consultant, and I like to do a lot of social media. So please follow me on Twitter, and I look forward to your post.
Hi, I'm John Neely. I'm with White Pages Pro. And a quick fact about me is I've been brewing for over 30 years. So, brewing.
Yeah. Good guy to know. My name is Jeff Levy. I'm the Vice President of Customer Care for Clearwire. I live here in Seattle, and outside of work, I'm a competitive cyclist.
Oh. Excellent. Well, we've got a pretty interesting panel this morning. So one of the things I would really love to start off with, and I'll actually toss it to the panel, is the conversations that we're all having around customer experience. And, truly, what does that mean, customer experience? But I'd like to take it from a little bit of a different angle, and let's look at it from the agent perspective. How does the agent truly impact the customer experience? So, Bryn.
The agent impacts the customer experience by, first of all, having the correct training, understanding customer feedback, what's on the customer's mind, and having the tools and the necessary education to provide the service the way the customer would like to be served versus the way the agent would want to serve the customer.
And how does analytics play into that?
Well, analytics can be a powerful tool to take you right to those interactions that are going to tell you something about customer experience. The great majority of your interactions probably go exceptionally well, customers happy, questions answered, and the issue is how do you sort through all the interactions that are happening in your environment and find the ones that are going to reveal an opportunity to do something a little better, an opportunity to give the agent a better tool, an opportunity to give some agents some training. And so what analytics can do is help you get to those interactions that are going to show you where the improvement opportunities are.
And you've got a little bit of a different, take on that, John, from the workforce management in the intraday scheduling that, that the agent actually gets. How does that impact an agent and their experience?
Absolutely. One of the things that's a challenge for call center operators is how do you find the time to invest in your agent development? How do you find the time to train and coach your employees and get them the communications that they would need to become better agents and deliver a better customer experience? So one of the things we see innovative call center operators doing is taking advantage of better intraday management techniques, becoming a more agile, real-time call center to be able to, for example, take advantage of periods of idle time to be able to find time to develop their agents.
And John, you have, in a lot of ways, a pretty simple, solution, but it does great power for an agent and their ability to help a customer. Do you want to explain that a bit?
Absolutely. What we provide is contact data, and we've seen it kind of be the silent hero in some call center situations, allowing the customer to be quickly identified, gather the relevant information, kind of do the basic groundwork, so the rep can really focus on the issue of the call and get right to the point of the problem or a request and be able to just keep the conversation focused, not on the mundane, but for the purpose of the call.
And Jeff, if you wouldn't mind taking it from the feedback side, because what you and your organization do, to provide that great information, the loop back to an agent, I think is so powerful.
Yeah, you bet. As a customer care organization, we feel like we have two great feedback areas. One is from customers. We speak to customers directly. I actually put my email address on our website. I get feedback directly from customers. We survey customers quite frequently to get feedback on what they feel like the customer experience has been. Additionally, we talk to the reps a lot and to the team leads to get an understanding of where they feel like the customer experience is and what improvements we can make both in process and in tools to help them with customer interactions.
So if an organization only has one gift that they can give to their agents, what is that? What should they be providing?
Coaching. You can have a tremendous amount of data. It could be specific, it could be meaningful, but if the interaction with the agent and that customer is not positive, and you don't continue to develop that agent, the data is not going to be very helpful to you. You have to execute on the data through a highly educated, highly trained agent with a continual coaching process.
Yeah, I agree with that answer. Both new hire and recursive training, very important for the reps, and giving them recursive training based on the things that you see them struggling with is quite helpful.
I've got a slightly different answer to that one, which is really to give the agents a process environment where they can do their job. We see a lot of cases where the first step in the call handling process is to frustrate the customer in the IVR and then give the customer to the agent. You're not doing the agents any favors by digging a hole with a bad IVR experience, or by digging a hole by sending the agent off to the wrong agent first so the customer has to be transferred. So I think paying attention to the process, sort of end to end, how do we handle each call type and how can we make that nice and smooth, and so the agents have an opportunity to really do the best work.
I see the opportunity to really marry the skill set of the agent with the call and the purpose, and being able to identify that quickly and transfer the call, get them engaged, get them going, makes the experience quicker, more precise and focused, and ultimately we've seen as reps increase their satisfaction because they're using their skills to the best of their abilities.
Kind of offload the simple stuff and let
Absolutely.
them really.
That's my forte. Let me go.
All right, so let's pick up on that conversation, because I think that that's a really important one, is increasing the value of the agent, and by taking away a lot of that routine work that they're doing. So where do we start with that? Companies are so accustomed to, I just need to send everything, into a live person or a live human being. How do we start to change that in our own organization so that we do know what to offload and how to do it?
I think we're seeing it's already happening. The use of multiple channels is giving customers choices about where to take their inquiries. And they're increasingly taking their simpler inquiries to other channels. And so what we're finding in our customer base is that the phone traffic is actually not going down, but the nature of the call is changing. The simple calls are not in the phone channel anymore, it's the more complex calls. Right. And so that is, in fact, having the agent spend more time on more valuable interactions, right? They're not answering a call to give a balance, they're answering a call to do something that really requires a human to assist the customer. So some of that shift's already going on, but if you're not investing adequately in self-service and these other channels, then you're going to leave those low-value calls in your agent channel. And even in the voice channel, if you do things in the IVR but don't bother to give that information to the agent, that's another low-value use of the agent, right? Collect a bunch of information in the IVR, don't pass it on, make the agent repeat that. Those are simple things, relatively simple things that you can do to make sure that your agents are really spending high-value time on a high-value interaction.
We've been leveraging social media in this way, where we're putting together not only frequently asked questions, but 4 frequently asked questions self-help videos, and putting those videos out on Facebook and YouTube, where customers can help themselves, and I think they really appreciate that. It deflects a lot of calls and the customers are better satisfied.
Oh, absolutely, and actually take that information and build a meaningful profile of the customer. So you've encapsulated their whole experience when they call back in, when they want to re-engage, you have this really quick history that you can rely on to say, oh, well, I know you've had this issue before, let's focus on this, and then resolve the issue.
And I would add that the profiling is extremely important of the customer, as these gentlemen have mentioned, because we are a global economy. We talk to multicultural individuals. Some of those individuals may be talking to a person in another country, in another state. And so when we think about profiling, as much as we can understand about the customer, and as much as we can help our agents understand how to operate in a global economy with the different social structures, remembering not to use too many localized analogies. I'm from the South, so I completely understand that. I think that's very helpful. Again, it takes the data that we're all talking about, it gives it a soul and a personality, and it really personalizes it to the customer, which is really the customer's desired experience.
Correct. So, there are a lot of conversations right now around the customer having more control and more information than the agents do, and that this balance of power has shifted. Do you agree with that? Do you think the balance of power has truly shifted?
Yeah, absolutely. By the time the customer gets on the phone with a live rep, they have already gone through the self-service alternatives. They've gone to social media. They've seen how other customers are dealing with potentially the issue that they're dealing with. So the customer is so prepared and so educated by the time that they get on the phone with a rep. The rep needs to be equally prepared. And so everything that everybody's saying here in terms of giving your agent the relevant training, the personalized training, the tools, so that they're as prepared to serve the customer and provide that customer experience that delights the customer, it's absolutely critical, more important now than it's ever been.
And do you think that this is just a phenomenon, that this balance of power has shifted, or are we going to start to see it go back again, either towards the middle or to the other side?
Oh, I think it's a permanent shift. I think people are getting used to using whatever channel they want to use to get their question answered.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we're seeing a permanent shift towards phone calls increasingly being the second contact, not the first. They've tried other channels. They've done some research. They're maybe educated because of the steps they've already taken. They're maybe frustrated because that didn't work and they have to call. So I don't think that's going to swing back. I don't think there's any evidence that people are going to go back to making a phone call and the time it takes to do that for something I can get on my mobile device or a website. And I think it has some pretty big implications for staffing. Are we going to have to increasingly look for a higher skilled agent? Because over time, the interactions that are left in the call center are more and more complex. They're escalated. They're difficult. It has implications on how we organize skill groups. It has implications on training. The solutions that your company provides are great to kind of find hidden places to do training. So I think it's a long-term trend that people need to pay attention to.
And I think we're going to have to be very careful that, there was a time in the contact center where we were the butt end of jokes about being the mutants because we did not personalize the experience. And I mean, if you've worked in contact centers, I see some heads nodding here. We need to make sure that as we move to these different channels where there is propensity to give out a standard comment to a customer, that we don't fall into the same trap and repeat our own history. So when we go into these non-traditional or new channels for us, is really keeping that experience personalized, because if it's not, to your fine point, then they will call the contact center. So the whole personalized guidance of the agent through that process, I think, will be pretty important as we make that transition.
I think so, and I think every time that you have a positive experience, you're actually setting the bar higher, and it has to be consistent all the way across the organization. And you have to be able to replicate that, whether they're serving themselves, and actually when they serve themselves, when they finally get an agent, they want an even better, more personable experience. Exactly. It's like, I've done that, I've found the information I want quickly, I'm able to get to what I need and have that reassuring feeling about what's happened. Absolutely.
The wow experience truly has
Wow.
become the new norm.
Absolutely.
The wow experience?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting, maybe.
There was a lot of debate around, I need to wow you anymore?
There was a really interesting paper just a couple of years ago about, do you need to wow the customer or do you just need to make it easy? And I think that whole idea of just low effort, maybe it's an interesting conversation to say, should we challenge every agent to delight and wow every customer? And does every agent have an opportunity to do that with every interaction? Or is it in fact maybe as an alternative strategy to try to rally everybody around the idea of low effort, make it easy? Because I think you can make every call easy, you can make every interaction easy. You may not have an opportunity in every interaction to go kind of beyond the customer's expectations.
I think by making it easy, you can wow the customer.
That's exactly it. Yep.
We were talking about the shift in balance of power. What we're finding is customers are beginning to help each other via social media. So they see the problems that we have with our product and they go help one another. And it's very powerful for us too, because we often see solutions that we didn't expect. We didn't have in our processes. Yeah.
Well, this is a conversation I wish I could keep going because I love the insight on this panel, and this has been a great opportunity to hear, your thought leadership. So I thank you all very much, and we'd love to keep this conversation going through social media and through our new emerging multi-channels. So thanks again, everyone. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.